Hello and welcome to the video. In this video I want to talk to you about 12 different Nintendo games that I believe are the most essential games for Nintendo Switch in 2024. It's that time of year. We are now moving into 2024. It's the end of 2023. The new year is here. So I think this is the perfect time to talk about these games. If you're a newcomer to the Nintendo Switch and you've only just got one, I don't know why you've only just got one. The console's been out for nearly 7 years. Where have you been all this time? If you're a newcomer, this video is perfect for you, as you can use this video as advice to games which you can purchase for your Nintendo Switch. I believe these games, in my opinion, are the best games on Nintendo Switch. Some of these games are actual console release titles, which is kind of amazing because the Nintendo Switch, like I say, has been out for nearly 7 years. It's crazy to think that some of these release titles are still just as good as some of the games which came out in 2023. Some of them are really essential, so I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to explain to you in this video what I think about these games. Enjoy this video, guys. I hope it helps if you're a newcomer to Nintendo Switch and you've only just picked one up recently or you got one for Christmas. This is perfect for you, so please do take your time to watch this video. 12 essential Nintendo Switch games I believe are perfect in 2024. Let's go. So the first game I'm going to talk to you about is a game which came out in 2020, which is a game that actually was released in the pandemic days. It's perfect for them because a lot of people played this game to kind of get their mind away from the pandemic. I know I especially did, and I played this game for a good 3 months every single day. And that game is Animal Crossing New Horizons. So this is the 5th Animal Crossing game in the series. It's a game that you play every single day. It's set up to be a life simulator game. You basically get a small island. There are also villagers that come to your island and stay there. You can communicate with the villagers and make friends out of them. And you can just basically explore the island and turn it into your island. You can shape it however you like. You get different tools to build around and make the island your own. You can even place items around and you can build your house. This game is a great life simulator game. It's probably the best life simulator on Nintendo Switch in my opinion. There are a lot of life simulator games out there at the moment, a lot of like harvesting games. I feel like Animal Crossing is the tip top of those games and is easily the most popular and most well known on Nintendo Switch. You can visit other people's islands. It's a great online multiplayer game, this. You can visit mystery islands as well, which is awesome. So there's a lot of gameplay on here on Animal Crossing. And if you have Nintendo Switch Online, you can download the free DLC, which is the Happy Home Designer, where you get to design houses for some of the villagers in this game. There's a lot of character to Animal Crossing, and if you want a game which will last you a long time and you can play practically every single day, Animal Crossing is definitely essential for that. It's one of Nintendo's most popular series on Nintendo Switch and it's definitely worth picking up. The next game I'm going to talk about is probably a series which most casual gamers have probably never really thought about or cared to think about playing. But if you are a Nintendo Switch owner, this game is definitely essential. It's a bit more of a niche Nintendo series, this, and it's only recently that it's become more popular in the western side of the world. And that game is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, I am going to be completely honest with you, this is easily one of the best games on Nintendo Switch. This is a Nintendo published title, and in my opinion, it's easily Nintendo's most underrated series. Fire Emblem Three Houses is a strategy life simulator war game. It's basically set in this fantasy world where you lead an army to victory, basically. You basically have 3 different routes of story in Fire Emblem Three Houses. You can take on the Black Eagle storyline, the Blue Lion storyline, and the Golden Deer storyline. Each storyline has its own story and a different route throughout the entire game, so you have different characters to play with. It's a really good game if you want repeat playthroughs. This game is around about 40 hours to play through the main story, and if you want to play all different routes of this game, you can, rack up easily over 100 hours on this game. It's definitely worth picking up if you want a game to just play, a strategy game. Fire Emblem is easily Nintendo's most underrated series in my opinion. If you love strategy games and you're a fan of games like chess, this is perfect for you as it is basically Nintendo's answer to chess. It's awesome. I really love this game. The story is amazing. The characters are all captivating and have really good stories to them. It's a game that you can really sink your teeth into and spend a lot of time on. I really enjoyed this game playing through it. And yeah, I really want to play through it again just because I haven't actually finished all the routes in this game and I would love to go back to it at some point. The next game I want to talk about is probably the most essential game on Nintendo Switch, and that game is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And the reason this is the most essential game on Nintendo Switch is this is the highest selling Nintendo Switch game there is, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Practically everyone who has a Nintendo Switch owns this game. It's an incredible Mario Kart game. It's probably the best Mario Kart ever made. And if you want a game where you can play with multiple people, multiplayer, and if you want a great party game, this is definitely the game to pick up. A game that people can just pick up and play. It's chaotic. It's one of those games that a lot of people consider to be the game that can destroy friendships. In a good way though. It's fun. All fun and games. It's nothing serious, but it's always great for that. It's a great game to play competitively. I really enjoy Mario Kart. I think everyone who owns a Nintendo Switch should have this game. It's Mario Kart. If you've not played a Mario Kart game, this is the best Mario Kart game to get right now. It's on Nintendo Switch. Easy to pick up and play. Get it. The next game I want to talk about is a game that came out in 2023, and that is Metroid Prime Remastered. This is one of the greatest games ever made. One of the greatest games in what's known as the Metroidvania genre. This is basically one of the best games in that subgenre of action-adventure games. This is easily the best Metroid game in my opinion. It's so good. Metroid Prime Remastered is a game that's very close to me. It's so essential. If you've never played a Metroid game, this is easily the best of the 3D Metroid games available. It's a first-person shooter game, but it's also an action-adventure puzzle game. It's so incredible to just play this game and see it on Nintendo Switch. If you have a Nintendo Switch OLED, this game is easily a must-buy purely for the graphics alone, just to see the world that this game creates. It's probably one of the best looking games on Nintendo Switch. It's so essential, this, just purely for the fact that it really does push the capabilities of Nintendo Switch to its limit. It runs amazingly. It was originally released on the GameCube and it's come back for Nintendo Switch as a remastered version. It's incredible. It looks amazing. The story is, it's okay, but it's not really the story that matters in this game. It's the gameplay, it's the world building. It's a game that you can really sink your teeth into, and if you get really good at this, you can beat this game in a couple of hours. On your first playthrough, it probably takes around 15 to 20 hours to beat. But once you play through this game and you know what to do, it's just a great game just to breeze through and play. The bosses are fun. The items and weapons you pick up are all really fun to use and open the world up more and more. Definitely pick up Metroid Prime Remastered if you can. It's a great game. The next game in the list is actually another Metroid game, and this is Metroid Dread. So what makes this different to Metroid Prime is that this is one of the 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania games. So Metroid Dread is easily one of the best games on Nintendo Switch. This is one of the best 2D side-scrolling Metroid games. Incredible Nintendo-produced game. It's actually quite terrifying in places as well. When you come across the enemies in this game, it can actually really mess you up a little bit because it's so stressful. This game is quite difficult, I'll be honest with you. If you want a game that's challenging, it requires a lot of playthrough, then Metroid Dread is definitely for you. There's a lot to sink your teeth into in this game. It looks amazing, plays amazing, the environments are all awesome. Definitely the tip top of the 2D Metroid games. Along with Super Metroid, I believe this is one of the best Metroid games there is. Basically, the way to think about this is it's Metroid Prime but 2D. It looks awesome, it plays awesome. I had a lot of time with this game. It's quite challenging and I like that about this game. It's essential for that reason. If you just want a great action adventure game, Metroid Dread is definitely for you. And like I say, there's that twist of it being quite spooky in parts. So I really do recommend Metroid Dread. The next game, you can actually pick up two versions of this game, and this game is Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. Pokemon Violet and Scarlet are the mainline Pokemon games on Nintendo Switch. These are the second mainline Pokemon games released on Nintendo Switch. There was Pokemon Sword and Shield, however, I believe that Pokemon Violet and Scarlet are more essential, as these are like open world Pokemon games. These are so good. I will admit that these games run pretty bad, like I'm not gonna lie, you get a lot of frame rate skips in this game. However, as a game overall, these are really fun. I'd still think these are really playable games. You know, these games have gotten bigger over time. There's now DLC released for these games, which expands the game massively. So they're definitely worth picking up for that reason. They've only just released a DLC for these games around Christmas time. These have been my favorite Pokemon games since Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. So I've enjoyed these a lot, and I think they are super essential if you just want a great open world adventure. And they're super essential for your Nintendo Switch. It's Pokemon. What do you expect? You know, everyone knows what Pokemon is. It's the highest grossing media series of all time. Choose your flavor, I guess. I went with Violet and my partner went with Scarlet. There's some Pokemon that are only available in this game and some Pokemon that are only available in Scarlet. So if you really want the full experience, it's a great idea to try and get both, but one version is just good enough as well. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, super essential for your Nintendo Switch. The next game on my list for you is Splatoon 3. Now this is one of Nintendo's newer IPs. It's a Nintendo published game so this is Nintendo's answer to having a AAA shooting series. The way to think about this game is it's basically paintball. What a great series this is. Splatoon 3 is the best out of the trilogy so far. It's the most up-to-date version and has the best maps and best weapons in my opinion. It's a great game to play in general just because it's so competitive. If you just want a game to play, if you've got nothing to play, this is easily the game to get on Nintendo Switch. Splatoon 3 is quite challenging when you get to the higher ranks, and I really enjoy this game for that reason. It's competitive, it's fun, it's fast-paced. The game has a lot of character to it. There's a lot of customization options. You can make your own character, get your own perks. A game that's ever expanding. There's also a mode in Splatoon 3 called Salmon Run, which is a great experience if you want to play with an extra 3 other people on your team. Basically in Salmon Run what you do is defend an area and fight bosses. It's basically an extra mode to join in with and experience with friends. The main feature of this game, however, is the multiplayer online, and you get to play games like Turf War, where the idea is to spread as much ink around the map as possible, fighting off the other team as they do exactly the same. The winners are the team with the most ink splattered around the map, and other modes as well online which are just as fun. It's also getting some DLC released known as Splatoon Side Order, and that comes out in 2024 I believe, so definitely look out for that if you're picking up Splatoon 3. And the next game on my list is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is one of the most essential games on Switch. The way to look at this game is that it is basically Nintendo's Hall of Fame. Nintendo have added every single Nintendo character they can think of into this game, except Waluigi for some reason. Why is Waluigi not a playable character in this yet? This game is just incredible as it's basically a fighting game covered in Nintendo theming. It's incredible for the reason that you can just pick up and play it. It's so fun. The idea is you're supposed to attack each other and cause the most amount of damage on screen, and then the person with the most amount of damage is more likely to fly off the screen. If your character flies off the screen, the opponent gains a point. So the idea is to hit each other as much as you can and try and knock each other off the screen. That's basically the basics of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. There's loads of game modes for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The main game mode is Smash mode, basically, where you attack each other on the stage while the stage moves around or tries to attack you. I don't think I've actually played all of this game because there's so much to do in it. I love it for that reason. It's one of the essential games to pick up if you like party games, just because it's so easy to pick up and play, kind of like Mario Kart 8. This game gets so much hype when they release a new game because part of the fun of this game is wanting to know what's coming next. So for example, they always add new characters every game, and this game has the most characters in it of all Super Smash Bros. Games, as it is Ultimate Edition. It has every single map ever in Super Smash Bros. Also every character who has ever been in Super Smash Bros., including characters like Minecraft Steve, Sora from Kingdom Hearts, Solid Snake from the Metal Gear Solid series, Joker from Persona 5, and also the majority of Nintendo's cast: Link from Zelda, Mario from Mario, Pikachu from Pokemon, Donkey Kong. There's so many characters in this game. It's just fun to answer that question, who would win in a fight? Definitely an essential pickup for your Nintendo Switch. The next game on my list is Super Mario Odyssey. What a game this is. This is one of the best Mario games ever made. This is a 3D Mario game. What I mean by 3D Mario game is it's like almost an open area game where you can explore different areas in 3D. Mario controls like a dream in this game. His controls are amazing. Easily the best controlling Mario game there is. There's no end to what Mario can do athletically, if you know what I mean. The idea of this game is you explore the different worlds and you pick up different moons. This is the game's version of stars, as you might have found in other Mario games, and there are hundreds and hundreds of different moons in this game. There's a moon for literally doing the simplest things, such as watering a plant, jumping off a ledge or something like that. You know, it's one of those games that basically everything you do and interact with usually results in an achievement and reward. Mario Odyssey is just fun from the moment you turn the game on to the moment it ends, and there's so much to do in this game, so much to experience and play, that the fun just doesn't end in this game. And I would probably say this is in the top 3 of most essential Nintendo Switch games easily. Super Mario Wonder. So I'm picking Super Mario Wonder as one of the most essential games because this game is basically Super Mario in 2D. It's a 2D side-scrolling game, and it's easily in my opinion, the best Super Mario 2D game ever. It's so good. This game is so creative. Everything about this game is just so fun. This game was up for Game of the Year this year in 2023. I really do recommend playing this purely for the multiplayer experience. That really does scream fun, creativity, challenge. There's some levels in this game which are so difficult that it takes multiple attempts to even beat them. This game is just something else. It's really hard to pinpoint what is so special about this game, and I think it is. For me, I think it's the creativity of it. There's this thing called the Wonder Flower in this game, and basically what happens is when you're doing a level in Super Mario Wonder, when you collect a Wonder Flower, basically that level becomes this wonderful world of imagination. Like, that sounded like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. But basically the world changes, and you're almost going this, like, weirdly enough, an LSD trip, if you know what I mean. Like, it's really weird. It's really trippy. It's an interesting take on the 2D side-scrolling Super Mario games. Super Mario Wonder is just a super essential. It's easy to pick up and play, but there is a learning curve in this game when you play towards the later game levels. I can see this being one of the best games on Nintendo Switch in the future when we look back at Nintendo Switch. I really do think that this game will appear on everyone's top 10 Nintendo Switch games list. So Super Mario Wonder, really interesting game. It's amazing graphically. It looks incredible. It plays incredibly. I really recommend Super Mario Wonder purely for the fun, creative side of the game. Recommend picking this one up as soon as you can. The next game I'm picking is arguably the best game on Nintendo Switch. It's kind of been overshadowed a little bit this year from a game that came out in the summer. However, this game is a launch title for Nintendo Switch, and this is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I recommend picking this game up purely for the open world experience. This is a Legend of Zelda game, and if you've never played a Legend of Zelda game before, this is a great jumping on point, as I feel that the later Zelda games from this point are going to be based upon this style of gameplay where it's open world. Legend of Zelda is a really great series. It's my favorite game series of all time. I really recommend picking this up for your Nintendo Switch, purely for the creativity of having an open world and being able to use your tools to kind of shape the world in your fashion and play the game however you want to play it. You have a series of weapons you can use and different tools to use to change the world in your way. Play the game how you want to play it. There's villages to visit, and there's bosses in this game and all kinds of things going on. However, I will just say that the game that overshadows this is the game's sequel, and this is another essential game, and that is a game that was released this year in 2023, and that is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now this is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and is easily the best game on Nintendo Switch. This is the top game. If anyone's going to tell you a top 10 list on best Nintendo Switch games, this in my opinion would be number one. And I think a lot of people would say exactly the same. This is the most essential game on Nintendo Switch. If you've not played this yet, or you've not played Breath of the Wild, highly recommend playing these games. Play Breath of the Wild first and then play Tears of the Kingdom, as this is the sequel. However, Tears of the Kingdom basically takes up everything that Breath of the Wild did amazingly and ramps it up to 11. This game also fixes some of the complaints that Breath of the Wild had, such as the weapon breaking system. A lot of people complained in Breath of the Wild about the Divine Beasts, but this game kind of answers them complaints and brings back temples from the Zelda series, a hybrid version of a dungeon and a Divine Beast. I would highly recommend getting this as your must play. If there's one game you're going to have on your Nintendo Switch, this is the game to get. Make sure you pick this one up. I love this game. I've sunk, I think, about 150 hours into this game so far. I know a lot of people have racked up way more hours on this, but this is incredible for its game, its style, its story. It's incredibly good. It's an amazing Zelda game. It's an amazing Nintendo game. It's an amazing Nintendo Switch game. The fact that they were able to put 3 times the size of game on this cartridge on Nintendo Switch is a achievement. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild had already pushed the limit on the capabilities of Nintendo Switch. Tears of the Kingdom, to take it 3 times further by adding 2 more additional maps to the game, is incredible. This is just an achievement, and in my opinion, I kind of feel like this game should have won Game of the Year, but I can kind of see why Baldur's Gate 3 did. The best Nintendo game of 2023. Not my favorite, but we went to Super Mario Wonder, but this is definitely the game to get if you have a Nintendo Switch. Amazing. And there you have it. There is 12 games that I believe are essential for newcomers to the Nintendo Switch. If you have just recently got your first Nintendo Switch and you need 12 games to think about that are essential for a Nintendo Switch, I hope this video has helped you make a decision on games that you might want to pick up. Make those your first games on Nintendo Switch, and I guarantee you will end up saying that the Nintendo Switch is one of the greatest consoles ever. The Nintendo Switch already has a stellar game lineup, and there's so many more Nintendo Switch games out there, but in my opinion, these are the 12 most essential games to get right now. Make sure you pick up these games if you are new to Nintendo Switch, or if you just want more games to play in general. I recommend getting these games. These are the best ones in my opinion. So thank you for watching. I will see you for the next video. If you've liked this video, please check out this video right here. It's nice and shiny for you. It's more content like this, and if you've enjoyed it, please do like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video. Happy New Year. I'll see you in 2024. Bye!